Okay guys, welcome to a new video today, changing the brake pads for the Nissan 370z Sport package. The tools I used, moving from left to right, breaker bar, followed by chocks, the 21mm deep socket and your locking wheel nut for your car. New brake pads, that's always a must, copper grease, brake cleaner, hydraulic jack, a torque wrench and then an assortment of tools. So this is pliers, Phillips, flathead, screwdriver and hammer. So getting into it, while the car is still on the ground, use your breaker bar and loosen the wheel nuts. Once you've done that, you can manoeuvre the hydraulic jack underneath your car. If you're struggling to find the jacking point, you can always consult your service manual. That will let you know exactly where all 6 points are on the Nissan 370z. Once you've done that, you can jack that baby up. Remember to put your chocks in the opposite wheel to the wheel that you are working on. Then you can manoeuvre the steering wheel so you're exposing the brake caliper. And then once the thing's up in the air, you can then use your socket to loosen all the wheel nuts, removing the wheel, and then that exposes the brake caliper. So a couple of things to note. Obviously I'm using a hydraulic jack, so as a safety precaution, I'm putting the wheel underneath my car just in case the jack somehow fails. Then, not to muck up the floor, applying a dust sheet because later on you will be using that brake cleaner to free up a lot of brake pad dust, and that can turn into a messy job. So just arranging the parts. Obviously this is the second one I did the front left one first. And then we get into the brake caliper. So first you have to undo the clips. So as you can see, the top clip should be easy, but the bottom clip is basically facing the wrong way to be able to pull it out. That's where the Phillips screwdriver comes in really handy, as the pins that are locking in that clip there are a Phillips head. So using the Phillips screwdriver, you can twist and turn until the clip is able to free itself out. So there you go, as simple as that. And then the top clip as well. And then holding the top part of the backing plate, you can either do one or two things. You can get pliers and then try and wriggle it out that way. I think these pads have lasted me 2.5 years, so that's going to be hard. So what I like to do is use a screwdriver with a hammer and then just lightly hit the pin out. And then once you've done that, the pin will just slip easily out. And same again for the bottom. You can try with the pliers, and sometimes you can get lucky and it will just pull out, or sometimes it's down to the screwdriver. So the backing plate comes out, and then you can wriggle that bottom pin out. Okay, so once that comes out, then you will have your backing plate cover and your two pins. You want to keep hold of them. Don't worry about the clips because you should have new clips in your new brake pad box. Then we move on to removing the brake pads. I don't think I had much pad remaining left on this, so what I like to do is put a screwdriver in the top, in between the brake pad and the rotor, and basically just free the piston up just enough so you can wriggle the brake pad free and loose, and then it should slip right off. So as you can see, doing it on both sides just to give me enough leeway to then get in there. So as you can see, trying to get hold of it, there comes out one, and then there's the second one. Now comes the moment that most OCD people will love. That's taking like an old toothbrush or a nylon brush, something with not hard gristles, and then you want to apply the brake cleaner to that, and then you can just basically go ham at that brake caliper, cleaning all you want. Don't forget the top, the bottom, and as you'll see shortly that a lot of brake pad dust will come out. So there you go. And then you want to do that for both sides. If you're struggling to get your toothbrush in, what I would say is free up, so clean the piston ring and then push the brake pad which you'll see in a minute. Push it out a bit, and then that gives you more space for your toothbrush or nylon brush to work its magic in cleaning the brake caliper. So the next thing you can do is, as you just seen, using the old brake pad, you can free up the pistons enough to get your new brake pad in there, and then putting one new brake pad in allows you then to get an old brake pad in again and push the pistons back. I see plenty of people using pieces of wood and wrenches to do this. It's all preferable, but once you've pushed the pistons in, don't forget to check your brake fluid, as that can overflow. And then once you've checked to make sure everything's fine, now it's time to use that copper grease. So I like to dab around where I think the piston ring will hit the brake pad. So this is for 2 parts on the 370Z caliper. And then once I've done that, I like to smear it in just for S's and giggles, really. I don't think I'm allowed to swear on YouTube anymore, so I won't. And then once I've done that, take a bit of the grease that's over there and apply it to the top 4 corners. So the 2 top ones and the 2 bottom ones are where the brake pad will make contact with the caliper. And this is to stop the squeaking. So obviously as your pad wears in, your brake pad then gets pushed along closer to the rotor, and that's what can cause the squeaking. So if you use anything graphite based or copper grease, it should really alleviate this problem. And then here's me doing the second one, so same again, smearing it in and then putting it on the 2 top and the 2 bottom corners. And then once you've done that, you can throw them in. So both sides in, so that is your brake pads now in the caliper. And now we can manoeuvre to putting the pins back in and the backing plate, the cover clip. So while you've got it, you may as well clean these pins off with the brake the brake cleaner, sorry. And then applying the backing plate cover. So the same way that you took it out, put pressure on the top. And then if you're struggling, you can always use your Phillips screwdriver to give it that added extra push. And now for the bottom one, so it's the exact same process again, pushing the very bottom in, and then it just slips right on in. So in your brake pad, in your new brake pad box, you should see the new clips. And then all you need to do is apply these clips into it. You can use pliers, you can hopefully do it by hand, but I find this very difficult. And there's one and there's 2. So now you're done, you can get rid of all your dust sheet, you can get rid of everything, and you can straighten up the wheel. Don't forget to manoeuvre the wheel from underneath, and then you can put the alloy back on the axle. So you can hand snug them back in, then hydraulic jack it down all the way, manoeuvre that out of the way. Remove the chocks, so you're just on your handbrake, and then I think mine was 80 foot-pounds of torque, so lock that in, and then torque that baby up. So you want to go into like a star pattern, don't just go round clockwise. So as you can see, star it up, and then you'll be fine. So anyway, that is literally it. Thank you very much for watching. If you did like this video and if it's helped you, leave a comment, subscribe for more. I'll be doing the rears soon. And thank you very much for watching. So until next time, guys, take it easy, peace out, all the best.